There was a farmer who had a horse. The horse ran away from the farm and the farmer went out to find the horse. He found the horse by a river and the farmer asked the horse, "Why did you run away?" And the horse said, "The water in that farm is not good. It's salty, the grass is not good. It's dry and hard, the hay is not good, it's moldy. And the farmer is not good either. He works us too hard and he doesn't take care of us." And then the horse looked at the farmer and said, "You may have excuses for all the problems on your farm, but you are not an excuse for me to stay there." The farmer thought about it for a second and then he said to the horse, "I agree with everything you said. You're right, the water is salty. The grass is dry, the hay is moldy. I do work you too hard. But," said the farmer, "I don't have an excuse to keep you here. Why do you have an excuse to run away?" This is a motivational story that teaches us that we cannot use excuses as reasons to not work hard. We can always choose to do our best no matter what challenges we face. This reminds me of another story. There were two frogs who lived in a small pond in the countryside. They were best friends and they spent their days swimming around the pond, catching insects and basking on lily pads. One day, one of the frogs noticed that a large construction crane had been erected near the pond. Every day, the crane would make loud noises and shake the ground as it lifted heavy materials to build a new building nearby. The frog was very upset by all the commotion and decided to speak to his friend about it. "I can't stand this noise anymore," he croaked. "It's so loud and disruptive. I wish they would just stop." His friend listened patiently, and when the other frog fell silent, he replied, "Well, why don't you just move to another pond? There are plenty of other places where you could live without all this noise." The first frog looked at him in disbelief and exclaimed, "But I can't do that. I'm a country frog. I'm not allowed to go into town." His friend blinked slowly and said, "That sounds like a rule you made up yourself." And with that, he hopped onto a lily pad and jumped into the water, disappearing into the murky depths. The first frog sat on the remaining lily pad feeling defeated and realized that he had made an excuse for himself to be lazy and unmotivated. He had convinced himself that he wasn't good enough or smart enough to do what he needed to do. But in reality, he was just afraid of failing. So he stayed on the lily pad and complained about his life instead of taking action. A lot of people complain about how difficult their life is, but if you look closely, you will realize that many of these difficulties are self-imposed. We often tell ourselves that we can't do something because of our circumstances or situation. However, the truth is that these are just excuses. You might think that you need certain conditions to be successful, but that is not true. Success does not depend on external factors. It depends on your attitude and determination. When faced with obstacles, some people give up, while others use the situation to grow and learn. It all depends on your mindset. If you want to be successful, you must be willing to work hard and persevere through difficult times. Don't let your circumstances determine your future. Take control of your life and create the success you want. Now, there was a man who wanted to travel across the country. He bought a car and started his journey. After driving for a few hours, he realized that he was lost and didn't know where he was going. He stopped at a gas station to ask for directions, but the attendant told him that he couldn't help him because he didn't have a map. The man felt defeated and thought about turning back, but then he decided to press on. He drove for a few more hours until he came across a small town. He stopped at a local diner to get some food, but when he asked the waitress for directions, she told him that she didn't know where he was going and that he should have asked someone else. The man was getting frustrated and started to feel like giving up on his trip, but then he met an old woman who told him that she knew a shortcut that would take him to his destination faster. The man followed the old woman's directions and eventually reached his destination. He realized that if he had listened to the gas station attendant and the waitress, he would still be lost. They had given him excuses as to why they couldn't help him, but in reality, they were just afraid of getting involved. The man could have easily become discouraged and decided to abandon his journey. but instead, he pressed on and made the most of the situation. By doing so, he was able to reach his destination and achieve his goal. We all encounter people like the gas station attendant and the waitress every day. They are the ones who offer us excuses as to why we shouldn't do something. But it's up to us to decide whether or not to listen to them. We cannot allow others to hold us back from achieving our goals. We must be willing to take risks and make sacrifices in order to succeed. Like the man in the story, we must never give up on our dreams, no matter how difficult the situation may seem. Now, there were two athletes who were training for an important competition. Both athletes worked hard and pushed themselves to the limit. However, only one of them was successful in winning the competition. After the event, both athletes met up again, and the unsuccessful athlete asked his friend, "How did you manage to win? What did you do differently?" The successful athlete replied, "I did everything exactly the same way you did. We trained together, ate the same food, and had the same coach. The only difference was that I never made excuses." The unsuccessful athlete was puzzled by this answer and asked for clarification. The successful athlete explained that he never blamed his failures on bad luck, the weather, equipment, or any other external factors. Instead, he took responsibility for his actions and focused on improving his weaknesses. He never gave up and kept trying even when things didn't go his way. On the other hand, the unsuccessful athlete often made excuses for his failures. He blamed his equipment for not being good enough, the weather for being too hot or too cold, or simply said that he was unlucky. As a result, he never really improved and always fell short of his goals. This story teaches us that making excuses is a surefire way to never achieve success. When we blame external factors for our failures, we are essentially giving up on ourselves. We are telling ourselves that we are not capable of succeeding and that we need to rely on luck or external factors to help us achieve our goals. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it will only lead to further failures and disappointments. On the other hand, taking responsibility for our actions and never making excuses is the key to success. When we take responsibility, we are sending a message to ourselves that we are capable of achieving our goals. We believe that we have the power to control our own destiny and that we can improve our weaknesses. This belief will give us the motivation and determination to push through difficult times and never give up. So remember, no matter what challenges you face in life, never make excuses. Take responsibility for your actions and focus on improving yourself. Only then will you be able to achieve your full potential and live a successful life. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope it has inspired you to never make excuses and to strive for excellence in everything you do. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on our latest videos. Thank you again for watching, and I wish you all the best in your life.